Michael Pramawat, the winningest player in regional championship history. 7-time regional champion, and he's looking to make a push to win number 8 here today. The prize cards, nothing too big of a deal for either of these players, like some annoying cards. The Colress isn't great to prize for Pram. The Snorlax, not ideal either. And over on Yoshi's side, you don't love to prize a Melanie, but you do play multiple copies of the card. So really kind of about what you would expect. Nothing too detrimental, I would say.
Yeah, most definitely. That wash energy actually would come into play.
Oh, that is true. That's a great point.
Yeah, in this matchup here, because it does block effects of your opponent's attacks, which is huge for the Giratina VStar star power ability. But here we go. We are getting into the game, starting over on Yoshi's side here with that Hisuian heavy ball. So Yoshi's going to get to look at all 6 prize cards straight off the bat here. So knowing exactly what is in the prize cards, if there was a basic Pokemon, you could switch the Hisuian heavy ball with that basic Pokemon and just take it out of your prize cards, but there were none in there. So just resetting those prize cards now and then going to discard that heavy ball. But yeah, that wash energy is huge.
And right away, this is a great start for Yoshi as he's started the copy of Empoleon V in the deck. That Emperor's Eyes ability, shutting off the abilities of non-rule box basic Pokemon, so things like Comfey and Cramorant, which are some of the big cards in Michael Pramawat's deck. Though it was worth noting, it does not shut off concealed cards.
Yes, Radiant Greninja is a rule box Pokemon. It looks like a little one prizer, but there is a rule box there. It doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2 prizes or 3 prizes or whatever. So we are going to see that concealed cards ability to draw 2 extra cards here for Pram. And let's see how the rest of this setup goes. Quick balling to discard that Drapion V. Not applicable really in this matchup, so easy pick there. But searching out another basic Pokemon to start on the bench. But yeah, as you said, Chip, it's going to be interesting to see how Pram chooses to play around this Empoleon V. But we did see Pram having to play around this exact setup yesterday as well. So
yes,
I'm sure Pram is very familiar with this scenario and has the outs to potentially play around it.
And Pram did win that game up against Empoleon. It was the same situation. His opponent started lone Empoleon V in game 1. So
absolutely.
And Pram right away grabs the Lumineon to grab Colress because he knows how important it is to get cards in the Lost Zone. It is the entire function of his deck, trying to get to that 7 cards mark so that he can utilize Mirage Gate to pull 2 different types of energy out of the deck, put them on his Pokemon in any way that he likes, ideally powering up a Giratina, maybe a Snorlax, something like that to get off a big attack. So here we go, Lost Zone cards. Number 1 of the day, Colress's Experiment seeing the top 5 here.
So, yep, top 5, 2 are going to go into the Lost Zone, the first 2 into there, and then keeping 3 to the hand. So having to make some difficult decisions sometimes when you're playing these Lost Zone decks, but Pram, I'm sure, after rocking this deck for so long, is more familiar as to what is better to keep and better to kind of put into the Lost Zone. So we did see a Boss's Orders. I didn't see what that other card was that went in there, but that is now 2 cards.
Looks like that Thornton.
Thornton,
so
okay.
That's a really nice one-of tech that you like to have in the late game, maybe to get your Lumineon out of there and make it another Giratina, maybe make another Radiant Greninja play out of a surprise, but not going to be something he has access to, as the Lost Zone, quite different from the discard pile. Those cards are gone forever.
Gone forever. No way to recover them, retrieve them back out. So that is definitely going to come into play potentially in the later game. So Pram now going back in with the quick ball, getting that Giratina V onto the bench here. Definitely essential for setting up for the later turns here. And of course, like we said, Pram working around having to manually put cards into the Lost Zone without any sort of abilities because of that Empoleon V. So we are going to see the scoop up there for another concealed cards from the Radiant Greninja because it was rebenched, so now able to use that ability once again to just draw more cards. We are going to see also the energy attached for the turn here for Pram as well.
And looks like Abyss Seeking will be the attack of choice. This is a great way to still get cards into the Lost Zone when you're unable to use Comfey. That flower selecting ability is so powerful, but does not work when it is being shut down by the Emperor's Eyes ability. So this is really Pram's only option to put cards in the Lost Zone.
But you definitely see how powerful this deck still is, being able to still
sure.
get the cards into the Lost Zone, even without those Comfies. And that's actually going to be a Comfy and a Mirage Gate going into Lost Zone.
Two pretty important cards.
Forever. Those are very important cards for sure, especially since there is also another Comfy in the prize cards as well. Okay, so now we are back onto Yoshi's side. And we are starting off with an Irida, so able to search out a water, a Pokemon, and an item card as well for Yoshi. So we talked a little bit yesterday, Chip, about how playing the Empoleon V does change your strategy a bit because you want to sort of play around what your opponent is playing around as well. So you kind of have to make sure that you are not leaving it out there to be escape roped or just kind of played around easily, but also you need to set up your board state as well. So we're going to see what Yoshi chooses to do here to set up on this first turn, or second turn.
And his hand is really not that good, and we see that being reflected by the grab of the Radiant Greninja, and I think he's big time going to be hoping to hit something off of this concealed cards. Last turn was unable to find a Kyurem V, was unable to get down any of his other pieces, a Rangaroo or Origin Form Palkia V. Any of these things would have been nice to at least try to bail him out a little bit. Grabbing the Quick Ball, though, means we could see a Crobat V come out potentially, but I think we may be starting with the concealed cards. Sure enough, there we go, losing an energy, getting 2 more off the top, hopefully trying to find something for a little bit of help.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Was that the Crobat?
Sure enough, that shiny Crobat.
Shiny one. There we go. Shiny Crobat. But it looks like there's going to be, of course, the Quick Ball first to kind of thin down the hand, because that Crobat does allow you to draw up to 6 cards. So the less cards you have in hand, the more you get to draw out of the deck, which is huge. So Yoshi, I think, deciding to discard that Kyurem VMax there to the Quick Ball.
Yeah, it looks like that was the choice. And now that there are Pokemon on Yoshi's bench, Michael Pramawat will have the option to play an Escape Rope to push this Empoleon to the bench and maybe try to pull off a Flower Selecting on the next turn. Does grab the Origin Form Palkia V, which is a very important card for this deck. It is not a Palkia deck per se, which we are used to seeing. Palkia, of course, paired with the ever-powerful Shady Dealings engine of Inteleon and Drizzile. But it is very useful still for its Star Portal V Star power in order to throw extra energies onto your Kyurem V Maxes. But does Yoshi not have a way to get a Kyurem V down? It doesn't look like it.
Yep, opted to go for that Palkia V and that Radiant Greninja before with both those Quick Balls. And now we are over on Pram's side after just another attach to the Empoleon V. So Pram starting out with a Quick Ball here, searching out a not a Comfy.
It is a Comfy, yes.
Oh, that is a Comfy, okay.
Yep, it's one of those pre-release.
Yeah, I was about to say, that is a
pretty
pretty Comfy there.
Yep.
Yeah, searching out a Comfy there, putting it on the bench, maybe potentially having a way to play around that Empoleon V, which is exactly what we're going to see, the Escape Rope. So Yoshi gets to decide what to promote here, and that Empoleon V is now going to be out of there, that Comfy in the active now for Pram, allowing that ability to take effect. Oh, look at those 2 cards.
Simplest choice Pram has made all tournament. 2 Battle VIP Pass. You know, I guess I have to put 1 in hand. He wishes he could lost on both of those, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Flower Selecting, not only just the same card,
so
you
and
have
that's
no
a
choice,
huge pickup right there off of the concealed cards. He's able to find the Colress's Experiment, which will put 2 more cards in the Lost Zone, and that means Mirage Gate is online.
Yeah, Mirage Gate's online. The big numbers you look for, I think, for these decks is usually 4, 7, and then 10 as well. So we are going to hit that 7, which will unlock the Mirage Gate. There is 1 Mirage Gate already in that Lost Zone that we've already seen. But is there 1 in hand? Yep, I do see 1 in hand for Pram.
Yep, very good for Michael Pramawat then. Looks like he does have access to that play if he wants it. Could start going in. The problem with this, though, is that neither of his attackers that he has lined up are really that great into the Radiant Greninja. He doesn't want to use his own Radiant Greninja. Moonlight Shuriken does 90 damage to 2 Pokemon, and you have to discard the energies. And if you attack with the Giratina VStar, you have to Lost Zone 2 energies.
That's
and
true.
that doesn't feel, that's a very steep cost to just take one single prize on this Radiant Greninja in the active from Yoshi.
Yeah, that is definitely one thing about this deck. It hits so hard. That 280 damage from the Giratina VStar is what we're going to be seeing. But of course, as Chip said, you do have to Lost Zone 2 energies, which is definitely a steep cost. So you have to be very particular with each of your knockouts because you need to prioritize, you know, high prize cards or really do a lot of prize mapping on the board state so that you can, you know, deal with your deck as effectively as possible, not waste any sort of resources.
And Pramawat does play the 2 copies of Snorlax, but one is in the prize cards, and he discarded one this turn. So that's usually a great option as a way to get off really solid damage. But Pram has now found a way to get 2 prize cards. Playing the Escape Rope will force up either of these 2 prize Pokemon, and Giratina V-Star is all powered up. Lost Impact, boom, taking out that Empoleon and adds 2 more cards to the Lost Zone. A total of 9 now, just 1 away from a Star Requiem next turn.
Yeah, most definitely. And Star Requiem is not something we've talked about just yet in this match, but do you want to go over that, Chip? Because it's a pretty wild V-Star power.
Very, very strong. For just a Grass and a Psychic Energy, if you have 10 cards in your Lost Zone, your opponent's active Pokemon is just knocked out. You're not doing any damage. It doesn't matter how many hit points they have. You just take them out. Now, Yoshi does have a way around this with the Wash Energy, but you pointed out, Shelby, he has prized that 1 copy of Wash Energy. Actually, no, he does play 2 copies looking at the list here. So if he could find that other copy, which it does look like he was able to do,
in hand,
that could protect him at least a little bit. This Palkia would still go down to a Lost Impact. So I really feel like you love to save this Wash Energy for a Kyurem VMax, something
I was about to say, it makes
can't be
a lot more sense
right?
on the Kyurem, but there's no Kyurem out right now for Yoshi. So that is definitely true. All right, so we are going to see an Irida here. Maybe now we will finally see that Kyurem come down because there's going to be the option for a water Pokemon and an item card here for Yoshi. So that Irida card just allows you so many options from your deck and really lets you map out your turns for the future. Get either recovery attackers, get that last item you need to complete a strategic move that you're making. And it looks like the Kyurem V and a Capacious Bucket was mapped out so far for Yoshi. We'll see if those are the picks here being made. That looks like that's exactly what's going to happen.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And we're going to go straight into that Capacious Bucket, something you often see here. So Kyurem VMax actually has a very strong ability that allows it to attach, well, really accelerate water energy from the top of the deck after you usually place one there from your Oranguru Primate Wisdom. We don't see the Oranguru in play right now, but having the availability of those water energies is huge for this deck. So that Capacious Bucket is always very nice to have. And the Kyurem V hits the bench.
Yes, it is ready to stay in play, hopefully for a turn. Yoshi's way back into this game. It's definitely an uphill battle at this point. Pramawat has just had such a good start, and Yoshi's start has been less than stellar for sure. But he does have a path back in because he plays the 1 copy of Roxanne, and I actually already see it in his hand. So he's going to try to set up a little bit more here. I imagine we'll be seeing an attack with the Origin Form Palkia V-Star this turn, trying to power up this Kyurem for the future turns, and then hoping to stick Pramawat with a Roxanne, hope that 2 cards is not enough for him to find a KO.
Yeah, most definitely. And Yoshi, of course, identifying the power of that Wash energy as well and putting it on that Kyurem V on the bench, because that is going to definitely be essential in the as soon as Pram is allowed to use that star power move there, when there's 10 cards in the Lost Zone, that is going to be huge. So definitely protecting against that, but also getting that energy onto the Palkia V-Star there for that subspace swell.
Yes, we'll be seeing a solid amount of damage being launched out this turn, 220, I believe, into the active Giratina. So it can be cleaned up pretty easily by a Kyurem on the next turn. And this is where Pramawat is probably going to be looking to go for a gusting play of some sort, take a knockout on this Kyurem, deal with the Wash energy before it becomes a V-Star that is so much harder to KO. Or sorry, a VMax, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah, most definitely. That's a really good thing to point out there. So we will see if Pram does have that ability. We are going to see an Ultra Ball with 2 Battle VIP Pass, so very easy throwaway cards there for this Ultra Ball, allowing you to search out any Pokemon in your deck, eyeing up a Giratina V there, kind of putting it at the top, and that is what is going to be chosen out. We did see, you know, a couple of Pokemon in the prize cards there, but really Pram wants to get another Giratina V out, especially seeing all of those damage counters now on that VStar in the active position. So making sure there is a recovery option, a backup attacker here is definitely very important.
And Pram can make himself Roxanne proof this turn if he can draw enough cards. If he can set up and get a Mirage Gate play and put a bunch of energies onto multiple Giratinas, he'll make it so the only thing he needs to find next turn in order to close out the game, take his last 2 prize cards, would theoretically be the V-Star, so that he could just use Star Requiem on the final turn.
And here we go. There are now 10 cards in our Lost Zone here.
It looks like he does have that boss's orders as well in the hand.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Let's see if he wants to go for the Kyurem here. Maybe he wants to deal with the Palkia, but you could use the V-Star power at this point. I don't see another Mirage Gate, so that might be the thing he's trying to figure out a way to get here.
Yeah, I see an Energy Recycler in hand. Of course, there's the Air Balloon, Scoop Up Net. So there's a lot of switching out cards that we see. There's 2 Scoop Up Nets in hand, actually. We're going to see the first one being played right now. Scooping up that Comfey. Going into the Radiant Greninja now. Attaching the Air Balloon there.
Needs a little more help, I think.
Yeah, I think retreat cost is lowered. Rebenching that Comfey to promote it after retreating with the Air Balloon, allowing for another flower selecting. I didn't see those 2 options shipped, did you?
Yeah, I think it's 2 energy cards. So he's got to decide which one is less valuable. Looks like it will be the twin energy, and concealed cards can see 2 more.
Wow, so both of those energy cards are at least gone in the sense that one is in the discard pile, one is gone forever in the Lost Zone. But there was an Energy Recycler in hand, I believe, for Pram as well.
Yes. This overall, I would say, is kind of a weak turn from Pram. Let's see what he's able to do. He definitely has not, he's seen a lot of cards, but he's not accomplished, I think, everything he would have liked to this turn. So I'm interested if he'll just go for the Star Requiem while benching and attaching to the benched Giratina, or will he go for this Boss's Orders play? He might be fine using Star Requiem because he can theoretically close out the game in the future by just KOing the Crobat on the bench.
That's what we're going to see.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's a good point, Chip, because there is already the Wash Energy down. So if it's not applicable there, and you can do a move that knocks out a Pokemon without having to discard any energy, that's definitely huge for the plays down the line. So that is what we're going to see from Pram, going down to 2 prize cards now on Pram's side, and we're back on Yoshi's side to see how this turn goes, evolving first into that Kyurem VMax with that Wash Energy that helped out quite a lot, I think, for the decision-making there on Pram's side.
Absolutely, yeah. This is a big deal. Pram felt much more comfortable going with the V-Star power since the Wash Energy was going to protect this Kyurem anyway. And that Roxanne in Yoshi's hand is really going to be his way back into this game. He's down 6-2 prize cards right now, but where there's a Roxanne, there is definitely a way. And this Lost Vacuum is pretty nice as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Lost zoning a card and then lost zoning a tool or stadium in play. Getting rid of that Air Balloon on the Radiant Greninja will take away that pivot option that Pramawat had.
Yeah, definitely. With the taking away the Air Balloon and then also Roxanning directly after that. Of course, Yoshi initiating the Roxanne, so able to draw into 6 cards after shuffling the hand into the deck. Pram only going to get 2, and we've seen Roxannes go a lot of different ways before for these players.
And I think Pramawat chose not to attach an energy last turn. He had one in hand, didn't attach it for this exact reason. He wants to have energy cards in the deck so that he can concealed cards in order to draw cards off of the potential Roxanne or Marnie, some sort of disruption on Yoshi's side.
That is a really good point indeed, Chip, because giving yourself all of the outs, playing around Roxanne is definitely important for whatever deck you're playing, and that is exactly what we saw. Pram does have an energy in hand as well. We're going to see Yoshi benching that Oranguru now, one of my favorite cards there, and using a Primate Wisdom. So this is what we're finally going to see, that Kyurem VMax, the ability take effect here, switching that water energy to the top of the deck, and then that ability allows you to reattach the energy off of the top of the deck to any of your Pokemon. So
Glaciated World throws it on to the active, powering up the eventual Max Frost. Very easy to take this KO now. You don't have to discard any of your energies, but what Yoshi is doing is he's just making this big Kyurem VMax in the active spot that Pramawat is going to have a very hard time dealing with. He finally takes 2 prize cards now, and he is just hoping he can ride on the back of this Kyurem and that it'll lead him to victory.
Yeah, that is definitely huge, and we are going to see Pram.
Oh,
was it the Mirage Gate?
Yeah, and the Snorlax as well, an attacking option in addition to finding that energy acceleration piece. Also finding the Giratina VStar here off of the flower selecting. This is massive.
That is huge, and you know, that may have not been possible if, like you said, Chip, Pram had opted to attach an energy card there, because there was an energy in hand off the Roxanne, which is huge.
The problem here, though, is I don't think he has a way to get this Comfey out of the active, and he can't see any more cards this turn. There's no...
No more flower selecting?
Yeah, no Colress or anything like that in hand. His Lumineon is in play, so that Ultra Ball can't go fetch that out of the deck to find a supporter card. He is, I think, kind of awkwardly stuck here. And this is a really tough spot. Debating playing the Ordinary Rod before using the Mirage Gate maybe here.
Yeah, that would definitely be awkward to have to Mirage Gate onto a Comfey to retreat, for
right.
sure. And, and it wouldn't even really be effective here because there's no, like, what do you even switch into? You don't have anything at that point. So that is definitely an awkward position. I think that is kind of the tale of this game so far for Pram, just really awkward positions that Pram's been in. You know, getting those several cards even out of a Roxanne was huge, but not being able to get there.
Oh, just a pass. That is a huge miss from Pramawat, and this is exactly what Yoshi needed to get back into this game. And I think he just needs a boss's orders here. If he can boss's orders and take out this Giratina, that really is the big threat. It would take him 2 prize cards as well. Let's see if off of Rotom Phone he can find it. I don't see it just yet. Would have been an easy grab there because you can put it on top with the Rotom Phone and then Primate Wisdom into it. Looks like Capacious Bucket will be the grab instead, which means we may be seeing the concealed cards coming up soon.
Oh yeah, that's going to be huge concealed cards as well, because like you said, Chip, if Yoshi is able to take out this Giratina V-Star, that is going to be huge play here. So let's see what happens in these next couple of turns for Yoshi. There's still a pretty large hand, but it looks like we're going to see that Primate Wisdom first.
Yoshi actually does also play 2 copies of Cross Switcher. That's right, not 4 copies of Cross Switcher, 2 copies of Cross Switcher. So he can only utilize that effect once per game. That is an additional way he could gust this turn. He's got 1 in hand. There is 1 in the deck, so if he could find an Irida, he's got a switch in hand already, so that's another way he could potentially get a gust effect this turn. And he's got 1 boss, the 2 Cross Switchers, so ideally for Yoshi to close this game out, he would go Gust KO the Giratina, Gust KO the Lumineon, and that would be an insane comeback, and he's got the Irida!
There is that Irida. Let's see what we, eyeing up that Cross Switcher immediately, putting it at the top there, still looking through the other choices in the deck as well, familiarizing themselves with everything that's in there too. Also having to potentially bring out another Pokemon as well, thin the deck more. So that water Pokemon, that Kyurem VMax coming out too. There is a Kyurem V on the bench as well. So here we go, Chip. The Cross Switchers.
What a huge turn of events for Yoshi. He was down 6-2 prize cards, and Roxanne has found him a way back into this game, and his turn is not over yet. Concealed cards can still find a couple more.
Yeah, 2 more cards here for Yoshi. I'm sure Pram is not liking what is happening right now on the board here.
Bram's probably going to be thinking, does this guy really play 2 Cross Switcher? Like, that's it, just the two copies, not seen a single other one this game. And sure enough, it looks like he's lining up the play. Giratina, get up here. Has to switch himself as well, but it's pretty easy to get this Greninja out of the active.
Yes, there is a switch card in hand. So that is what we are going to be seeing here. Switching back into that Kyurem VMax. Radiant Greninja's going back to the bench as well. And that Giratina VStar is just out there in the open, out there in the cold, getting ready to get knocked out here by that powerful, fully charged up Kyurem VMax.
Max Frost does need to discard 4 energy cards in order to take this knockout. So it is a steep cost, but a worthwhile one, as it will get Yoshi 2 prize cards. And Yoshi has found a way to tie this game up, taking 2 energy cards off the prizes as well. What is Pram's top deck?
Here we go. I didn't see the top deck, but here is a flower selecting. Ooh. Was it the Colress? Another.
And a Mirage Gate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that is a tough call. I do think Pram is still holding on to a Mirage Gate, but it is going to be a hard path to victory if you are unable to use multiple Mirage Gates in this game. Now, Pram can take his lose condition out of play, potentially. Snorlax can win the game for Pramawat, but he's got to find his 1 copy of Boss's Orders, I think, that he has left, because he plays 2. 1 got lost zone super early on, so he can potentially find it. Doesn't look like he has it this turn. It's going to be the Colress. What Pram might be looking to do here, and Boss there is in the Colress. Wow. What Pramawat might be looking to do here is actually attack with the Lumineon. It's attack, swim away, I think, or swim freely, something like that. It does 120 damage, and then you shuffle it back into the deck, and that is Yoshi's win condition. It's actually Aqua Return. Yeah, 120, shuffle it back in. I wonder if that's what Pram is thinking he needs to do.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of choices here, but Pram seeing that there's still a fighting chance here, even though there's only 2 prize cards left to be taken for Yoshi, but Pram's still playing out this entire turn here as well. Something you definitely want to do when you're in day 2, fighting for those points. So let's see what Pram's going to do, benching another Comfy down.
This is an incredibly close game here, Boo. I don't know who's going to come out on top. Resources are running super thin, especially for Pramawat. He's only got like 3 cards left in his deck, it looks like.
That is extremely thin.
And he draws into 2 energy cards, which means it'll be harder for him to use the Mirage Gate, but it actually looks like there is that energy recycler in hand here.
That is true, for sure.
Doesn't have a way to move this active Comfy right now, though.
No, I'm trying to figure out what is the way out for Pram. What is the best move here at this point in time with the cards that are left? There's not much left, and it looks like it's going to be an attached return onto the Snorlax, passing it back here. As we said, the Snorlax does hit that 180. 3 colorless energy is the cost,
and
that would knock the Crobat.
Fingers crossed and hope that Yoshi does not have Boss's Orders. And we know that he's only playing 1 copy of the card. The bench is full, so theoretically this Quick Ball could have grabbed Lumineon V out of the deck to fetch the game-winning Boss. But with no bench space, he can't do it.
That is very true, and that's where a lot of different options come into play here when you're playing these decks. Getting to play to all your outs, maybe leaving a little bit of bench space for yourself for those potential plays down the line, but that is not going to be a play here that we are going to get to see unless there's some way for those Pokemon to come up from the bench.
And if Yoshi does not win the game this turn, I think Pram's got it. He's got the Energy Recycler, the Mirage Gate, and the Boss's Orders. Enough to clear this Crobat out of play.
Is there a way to switch the Comfy out?
Well, theoretically, Yoshi would be knocking it out,
right?
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
so you would just get to promote the Snorlax and just close it out. Oh, but Yoshi found the Boss's Orders.
Oh, my
I think he should have it here. Glaciated World will discard the top card, put the energy in play. If he has an energy in hand, he can get it through the energy retrieval, grabbing 2 energies back, attach for turn, and the Boss's Orders that he hit off of the Primate Wisdom brings up the Lumineon V to win the game. The 6-2 comeback from Yoshi.
That was huge, and Chip, this is why I love
being there is not ideal, but Pram's hand, he started the Cramorant, and he has like 4 energy cards in his hand. It looks like Lumineon and Boss is the only options, and he's just attaching a Grass Energy and passing.
Oh, no.
Turn 1, before we even get to the table, is already over for Michael Pramawat.
That is definitely not what you want to see, especially when your opponent is then playing a Battle VIP Pass, being able to set up their board state much better than you just were able to, that is for sure. So Yoshi going through the deck now with that Battle VIP Pass, allowing them to search out 2 basic Pokemon, put them on the bench right away. as well, and also just being able to look through the deck, making sure you familiarize yourself with what is in the prize cards is also huge, especially when there's so much on the line in these matches. You have to make sure you are super familiar with everything that's happening in your deck so you can formulate those strategies to close out the games.
Battle VIP Pass, absolutely the best way to be starting a game of the Pokemon TCG right now. And right away, Yoshi eyes up the Radiant Greninja and the Origin Form Palkia V. Started the Kyurem, which is way better than it was in the last game. This start already for Yoshi is looking so much better, and maybe Yoshi will be the one being the aggressor in this match, especially seeing how weak Pramawat's start was.
Yeah, most definitely. It's nice to see that Kyurem V out there now for Yoshi. I mean, even with that super weak start, we did see that Yoshi was able to close the game out. So I can't imagine the power of this deck with an extremely strong start from Yoshi, especially when Pram is having an unfortunate first turn there as well. So this is definitely favoring Yoshi at the moment. Still searching through the deck here, going in with that for that capacious. Oh, sorry, Irida to search the Capacious bucket, and then a basic, or sorry, not a basic, a water Pokemon.
Yes.
As well. Could be a basic, could be an evolution.
It could be anything.
Just has to be blue.
As long as it is a water Pokemon, yeah, that is definitely what you have to grab off of Irida. Now getting the 2 water energies as well into the hand. Can draw a little bit with the concealed cards, get some energies in the discard pile to activate potential Melanies, and also has that Hisuian Heavy Ball, which is a excellent option. Let's see if he's got any Pokemon in the prizes.
Yeah, there was one basic Pokemon in the prizes there, that Palkia V, but it's also just nice to see exactly what's in your prize cards as well, just to make sure if you were searching through the deck and you kind of already knew, just to have guaranteed of what exactly is in there. And another Wash energy is being prized, just like last game as well, but 2 copies are played in Yoshi's deck, so there are still options there. And we are going to see that concealed cards from the Radiant Greninja, allowing you to discard an energy card and draw 2 more cards to hand.
Setup is looking very, very nice. The attach for turn, and we could actually even see that Kyurem V's first attack come into play. Rapid Freeze. Attach any number of water energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon in any way that you like. It synergizes so well with Kyurem VMax. What a great attack on an evolving basic.
Yeah, just as we saw the Giratina V has a great move on the V, so does the Kyurem V. So equal in that sense. We are going to go over to Pram's side here. Colress's Experiment. What do you see in Chip?
Not much to help. He's got an Ultra Ball, which could find a Comfy out, but he'd have to discard a bunch of cards in hand. There's a Snorlax, an Ordinary Rod, an Energy, and an Air Balloon. So it looks like Air Balloon and Energy will hit the Lost Zone, adding the first couple of cards. And is he just going to have to Ultra Ball and retreat into Comfy and just hope that something good can happen for him here? It is definitely looking a little bleak.
Yeah, I think Pram had 2 energy in the prize cards as well. So definitely lacking a little bit of energy here. Of course, these Giratina decks always play a lot of energy, as we can see, but there's energy all sorts of places right now on the board state for Pram. So hopefully...
Lost Zone, discard pile, infield,
in the field,
and in the hand.
and in the hand. So we will see what happens here. Pram, of course, having recovery options as well, but having 2 of those energy cards when you are having to discard and kind of play around other energies being lost as well is kind of interesting. So we'll see if that comes into play later on. Shuffling up the deck now here. Pram really needs a stronger board state now.
He needs some help without a doubt. A couple cards in the Lost Zone. Kramer can't even put some damage in play just yet. There is the Giratina and an Escape Rope, so we could see the Lost Abyss once again, just like we did in the last game. It's less necessary now because the Empoleon is not in play, and it also would put Pramawat's Giratina at risk. So we'll probably just see it come into play and maybe just be benched and passed, something like that. We'll see what his options are.
Yeah, most definitely. I think we're just
going
to see a pass here back to Yoshi. So Yoshi really kind of just running away with this setup here. There's so many cards in hands, evolving into that Origin Form Palkia VStar here on the bench, evolving into that Kyurem VMax as well. Looks like a little bit of debate there on that, but going to evolve into it.
Puts it in play. It is ready to start attacking with the Max Frost, and the Luminion V will come down. Can search out any supporter card from the deck. Either Irida or Melanie seem like fine choices here at this point. Melanie can get you an extra energy card into play here and draw some more cards. Irida could help you get a little bit more setup. So what is Yoshi going to value here? Is the setup, or is it going to be the card draw? And it looks like Irida is being brought to the front right away.
Yeah, most definitely. Such a powerful card. And same with Luminion V. We've seen Luminion come into effect in so many of these decks recently, especially these new builds, and it is so helpful in these decks as well.
It's really interesting, too, because when Luminion first came out in Brilliant Stars, most people chose not to play it in decks. Like a little bit here and there, but for the most part, people were not about playing it. Yoshi does have to get the Irida.
Yeah, going a little bit ahead there. Did eye down that Irida, but just didn't put it into play. Yeah, but it looks like it's being called here right now. So going in with the Irida here. It is so easy when there's so much sequencing in these decks to kind of get a little bit ahead of yourself. But we are going to see that Irida be pulled to search out a water Pokemon and an item card, going with that Capacious Bucket, a familiar set of cards that we've seen here today.
Undoubtedly.
And for a while now. So that Capacious Bucket allowing you to search out 2 basic water energy.
And this is pretty smart, I think, from Yoshi as well. He is maybe identified that the setup here from Pram is not the best. So an Empoleon could be pretty strong here. Try to slow him down, especially when you're combining it with a KO on the Cramorant. And he finds Switch off the top. So that's a pretty easy way for him to get into the Empoleon. He did grab the Empoleon right off of the Irida, I believe.
Yeah.
So that is an option.
That is in the hand now, I believe. Unless it was Switch, but I'm pretty sure I saw that Empoleon come out. We did see that extra card draw as well with that concealed cards, and we're just going to see the knockout here for Yoshi, knocking out that Cramorant on Pram's side and taking 1 prize card here back over to Pram.
And Pram just drawing his card, hoping to find some form of help. He's able to get it in the way of Comfy, able to escape rope into this Flower Select and can see 2 cards off the top. Easy choice. Get rid of that Battle VIP pass. Giratina now going to the hand. He's got Luminion to find a supporter, it looks like.
Yeah, I think so. I did see that in hand, which is exactly what we're going to see here. Pram playing their own Luminion here to search out a supporter card from the deck. So Yoshi did have that Empoleon in hand, but chose not to play it. But if Yoshi had put it down and the escape rope came into play, that would have been rough because the Empoleon would have then been in the active. We may not have even seen that escape rope there from Pram. So here we go. We are going to see that Colress's Experiment search out off of the Luminion V supporter Pokemon there on the bench, and it is going to be activated. Looking at those top 5 cards, 3 are going to go to hand and 2 to the Lost Zone, adding to that number.
What is this choice? He's got 2 Giratina VStar and 2 Colress's Experiment there as the choice off the other Colress. That is, yeah, that's rough.
That is definitely rough. We're going to see concealed cards here, discarding any energy cards. So that special energy going to the discard pile, 2 more cards going to hand, a Quick Ball and a Grass energy for Pram here.
And it's so crazy because Pram has so many cards in his hand, but there's just like nothing going for him. He doesn't even have 7 cards in the Lost Zone yet. Mirage Gate not even activated. This is, man, this is just really looking hard.
Yeah, now at least having the ability to bench 2 Giratina Vs. So at least if one is bossed up or knocked out somehow, you still have a surviving Giratina available to you. And we are just back over onto Yoshi's side here. Like I said, Chip, just kind of running away with this game right now. Not having to put up any sort of defensive plays, just completely on the offensive side. Now potentially choosing to bench that Empoleon, but going through the motions here, making sure that's exactly what they want to do. Like we said, keeping bench space open is definitely critical for this deck as well, just playing to all of your outs. Of course, the Luminion V is already in play now, but still, there's other Pokemon. There's Oranguru.
Got to make sure you've got space for Oranguru.
Yeah, that's a huge one for sure, in order to accelerate those energies at your leisure as well. So here we go. Yoshi back into the deck, deciding what to get here.
Looks like it will just be that Oranguru coming into play.
Yep, off
probably
of that
is going to be benched here shortly.
Quick Ball coming in to get that Oranguru. And then we are going to see an energy retrieval. So 2 energy cards going straight back, not into the deck, but into your hand, which is huge, especially when you have the Oranguru now. Then you can just set up those plays with that Kyurem VMax ability, and that is definitely giant. And concealed cards here, as we're going to see, just discarding another energy card and drawing 2 more cards to hand. So you could see the power of this Kyurem deck. So much draw support, energy acceleration, intense and super powerful move to just hit whatever numbers you need. It is just running away.
Yeah, Yoshi is definitely running away with this game, and he's eyeing up Cross Switcher with Irida. Is the second copy of Cross Switcher in the hand? Or maybe he's just setting up for a future turn. Going to take this KO on the Comfy potentially here, and then just trying to start building that piece up in hand, because I think I did see the second one still in the deck.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you have the ability to, just lining up your hand and preparing for future turns is definitely what you want to be doing when you're completely playing offensively. So here we go. Yoshi has kind of done so many moves here, but still has more to go, switching that water energy to the top of the deck and drawing another card with that Primate Wisdom off of the Oranguru. And then we are going to see that Glaciated World ability from Kyurem VMax to accelerate that energy onto the board wherever you want as well.
Yes, can go anywhere you would like to see it. And Yoshi might be putting in energy, looks like on Palkia, just making another attack option. Something he could try to force is go take a knockout with a Palkia and then try to just force 2 Kyurem VMaxes and hope Pram just can't get through the 2 VMaxes and hope that he's never able to find the gusting option to KO Luminion. But for now, it will be the Kyurem VMax taking the KO. Now Yoshi the one being the aggressor in this game, a 4-6 prize card lead. Was Pram able to find anything? We know he's got a couple Colress to work with.
Yep, that is definitely true. All those Colress that were drawn from the Colress.
They just find each other, I guess.
Most definitely. And if anyone's confused about the coins kind of being thrown around here on the board state, that is just to symbolize, I suppose, that an ability has been used from these Pokemon to make it much easier for the viewers and for the players to see, to keep track of things. So we did see that concealed cards being used from the Radiant Greninja. Now we're going in with another Colress's experiment. Decisions are being made here from Pram.
Yeah, tough call here.
Yeah, some tough ones indeed.
It's always, I mean, Colress is just a hard card to play. It really is. Being forced to Lost Zone 2 pieces that you're not going to have access to for the rest of the game. One of them being that key Mirage Gate. It looks like he will value keeping that. I know he has 2 in hand, so adding this Mirage Gate would make the 3rd copy in Pramawat's hand, so maybe he's debating, is it okay to Lost Zone it? But no, it will be Scoop Up Net and a Grass Energy.
It's just tough, Lost Zoning so many energy and then having to discard so many energy. I'm really wondering how many energy are left for Pram as well to have in the deck as well, so...
Well,
hopefully enough.
Yeah,
there's a lot of energy in this deck.
Is playing 13 energies here, so there's plenty of options, even with a couple in the Lost Zone. And he's got plenty of ways to recover energies as well through the Ordinary Rods and the Energy Recycler. Exactly. Starting things off with making a tough choice for Yehoshua Tate. Playing the Escape Rope now, Yoshi has to send something into the active. And he doesn't quite know what Pram is going to go with yet. And is he thinking about sending up the Luminion?
Yeah, I mean, would be a 2 prize card Pokemon sending up into the active.
I think this choice is based on every other Pokemon in play. Yoshi just values way too highly.
Yeah,
he wants to keep a Oranguru around. He wants to keep concealed cards as an option. He can't just feed the Palkia for 2 prizes. So if you have to feed something and it's going to give up 2 prizes, I guess it's going to be Luminion.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if you don't have a ton of switching options as well, having a low retreat cost could help out there in the future.
Yeah, I think whatever he sends up, though, is like pretty much always being KO'd by Pramawat this
turn.
turn.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, and the Recycler is going to be signifying that, as well as 4 energies will go back into the deck. And let's see how many Mirage Gates are about to come down. There's number 1, grabbing 2 energy of different types out of the deck, putting them onto Pramawat's Pokemon however he wishes. Looks like 2 going to the active Giratina.
Yeah, I mean, you can really see how even if you're down with this deck, you can really recover pretty strongly thanks to that Mirage Gate. Such a powerful card once you unlock the ability to use it through the cards in your Lost Zone. So that is huge.
Are we seeing the triple Mirage Gate turn here from Pramawat?
Oh my gosh.
He's thinking about it.
I think so. I think we're about to see that, Chip.
He's got an energy in hand, so he could theoretically hold off.
Yeah.
But no, let's play it down, get those energies into play while I can. And he'll have plenty to work with from here on out. Playing 3 Mirage Gate. He started this turn with 0 energies in play, and look at this. Now he's got 6.
Oh my goodness, 6 energies in play off of a triple Mirage Gate. I guess really emphasizing the power behind that card. This is a new card that we have from Lost Origin, and you can see why so many players are opting to play it, because it just fits so well and synergizes so well into these Lost Zone decks. One of the best cards, I think, to come out of Lost Origin.
Undoubtedly. And the attach for turn makes it 7 energy cards now.
Yeah, here we
play.
go.
2 will have to go to the Lost Zone here. Not quite at the point where Star Requiem can be used as the VStar power, so 2 will have to hit the Lost Zone, but that will add 2 cards to the Lost Zone to make Star Requiem a much more likely possibility.
Yep, and that 2 prize card Pokemon going down for Yoshi here. Pram taking 2 prize cards there off of the bottom.
And key thing to note here as well, Yehoshua Tate has been unable to find the wash energy at this point in the game.
Yep.
He had prized one. It is still in the prizes, so he's got 1 left in the deck. That would be an excellent card to find here to put on this active Kyurem VMax, as it would protect it from being KO'd by the Star Requiem, as since it is not an attack that deals damage, it just knocks you out as an effect of an attack. Wash energy would protect from that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Yoshi should know it's in the deck as well, so we're going to have to see some card draw here. We did see the Capacious Bucket searching out only 1 water energy from the deck, still thinning the deck out a little bit, and hopefully we get to see some draw and hopefully hit into that wash energy, because that is definitely huge for this turn.
And Yoshi can draw a bunch of cards here.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
got
Melanie.
Concealed cards.
Concealed
And Primate Wisdom as well.
Yep, that is very true, and that is the draw engine of this deck. All those cards right there combined together. So we are going to see that Melanie taking that water energy from the discard pile, applying it to one of your Pokemon V, and then you get to draw 3 cards. So let's see what are these 3 cards for Yoshi.
No wash energy just yet, but does find a quick ball that can thin a card out of the deck, so that using your concealed cards and your Oranguru give you a more likely chance to find that piece that you are digging for. Choice Belt is also a nice pickup. It will mean that that's 1 less energy card you have to discard in order to get the KO with a Max Frost into a Giratina, now only having to discard 3.
Yeah, that is definitely a good find for sure, but not exactly what Yoshi's probably looking for here. Definitely wants to protect that Kyurem VMax, because that is a 3 prize Pokemon that Yoshi, I'm sure, does not want to see go down here, especially in that manner, just being knocked out, no damage even done, especially because Kyurem VMax is very beefy as well. So just having it taken down for no damage is kind of a rough sight for sure.
Absolutely.
But here we go. We are going to see the Concealed Cards ability. Let's see what 2 are drawn. Oh, Rotom Phone.
That is a nice little bit of help, especially considering that Primate Wisdom has not been used. So this is 5 cards off the top Yoshi can see to potentially find this key wash energy. First, it looks like it will be a quick ball being played. Thinking of what to discard. Lost Vacuum not going to be useful now. And this can just thin a Pokemon out of the deck. And let's see if he can find the wash energy or not. It should be in there.
Yeah, I think I saw it closer to the top there.
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah, eyeing it down. Again, thinning out the deck as much as possible. Still trying to hit that, protect that Kyurem VMax. Would put Yoshi in a much stronger position. Let's see these 5 off the Rotom Phone. Oof. I'm on the edge of my seat, Chip.
Yeah, this would be a huge hit for Yoshi, and it would make things really hard for Pram, and he does not find it. That is unfortunate. So now Star Requiem will be able to pick up the KO on this Kyurem VMax next turn, and I don't think Yoshi has any other way to find more cards.
And, you know, that would put this game at, again, a nail-biting finish for both of these players here.
We do need to note as well, time is winding down.
Oh, wow, I didn't even notice this, Chip.
Less than a minute remaining in the round. So right now what we're looking at is the difference between Yoshi winning and Pram forcing a tie. Now, neither of these players really, I think, particularly wants to tie. Taking a loss at this point and taking a tie is pretty indifferential. You probably have to win your last few games regardless.
Yep.
But I think Pramawat would be fine taking a tie compared to taking a loss. So let's see if he can find a way to squeak out this last game. Just about 10 seconds remaining from Yoshi. And a big thing here is going to be, can he pull off the attack before time fully expires? It doesn't look like it. Oh, well, yeah, it's getting close. But Pramawat has not drawn his card for turn, which I believe should mean... We'll have to get exact confirmation. There's a big difference here between Pramawat being turn 0 or Yoshi being turn 0.
Yeah, most definitely. But Yoshi is going to take that knockout there on the Giratina VStar, going down another 2 prize cards, only 2 left. But this is still going to be a very exciting conclusion to this game because we don't know what's going to happen here yet, Chip.
So time was called during Michael's turn. So this is turn 0. After time, you of course get +3 turns. Turn 0, Yoshi would be turn 1, Pramawat turn 2, and then Yoshi turn 3. So Pram, in these 2 turns he has, turn 0 and turn 2, he needs to
Has to wrap it up.
2 knockouts on multi-prize Pokemon. He can pretty reasonably knock out this active. He just needs to find the V-Star, use that Star Requiem, and then he needs to close the game out by KOing a 2 prize Pokemon on the bench, or I guess a 1 prize Pokemon would work as well, as Kyurem VMax is a VMax Pokemon giving up 3 prizes.
Yeah, most definitely. There still has to be 1 more card put into the lost zone. We still need to see the V-Star as well to unlock that ability, but there is a Colress's Experiment in the hand too, so we are going to see that scoop up net, scooping up the Radiant Greninja off of the bench, and then we are going to see an Ultra Ball, discarding that Radiant Greninja and another card here to search out for that V-Star. That is 1 piece needed here for Pram. Now we just need to see that lost zone increase to at least 10, which is definitely a possibility from Pram's hand. And then we can see this Kyurem VMax fall.
Yes, it would
the
go
wash
down.
energy.
No wash energy available.
Yeah.
Boss's order is actually going to be the play, so this is smart from
Here we
Pramawat.
go.
Oh, I wonder if he should have KO'd the... Oh, no, he's bringing up the Palkia because Yoshi has not used his V-Star power yet. So trying to make it as hard as possible to use Star Portal to get those energy cards in play in order to take the win. Yoshi can win this turn. He just needs to get 3 energies on this active Kyurem, and Ultra Ball, I think, should be able to find the Palkia V-Star as long as it is still in the deck. And there it is.
It is in the deck. There we go. We are going to see Yoshi take that win. Congratulations. That was incredible playing. It is so nice to be sitting here and seeing Kyurem VMax succeed.
And Yoshi's a long-time player, like I mentioned.